Shocking news. Yet another very wealthy and famous lover of free speech is using the court systems to try to silence critics. This video is going to be all over the place, so I'm going to break it up into sections. First, I will deliver the new news, since that will probably be in the title, and some of you just want me to get to the point. And then I'll explain why I'm talking about this, and then I'm going to give you some updates on some previous very similar court cases. Okay, first the new news. Ethan Klein, the host of the H3 show. It's a YouTube channel. Now it's a podcast as well. Ethan has been very famous, very popular online for quite a while now. He started out in the early 2010s as a reaction channel where he would comment on silly videos, sometimes with his wife, Hila. Recently, they've been criticized by some lefty YouTubers and streamers for seeming to downplay Israel's genocide against the Palestinians. Yeah, I know that really took a jump if you're not terminally online. I apologize, but yeah, the H3 show has taken a bit of a weird turn in the past few years. In March of this year, YouTuber Noah Samson published a video titled "The YouTubers Who Backed a Genocide." Over the course of an hour, Noah lays out why he thinks Ethan Klein, along with other content creators, including Mutahar Anas of Some Ordinary Gamers, are manufacturing consent for the Israeli genocide by attacking pro-Palestinian creators, downplaying the IDF's atrocities, and spreading pro-Israeli hasbara, or propaganda. Klein, who is now a multimillionaire living in Bel Air, where Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv live, not the same house, I don't think, but I just want to illustrate the type of neighborhood they're in. Anyway, they got a lawyer to send Samson a cease and desist, demanding that he remove his video and apologize on behalf of both Ethan and Mutahar. As Samson mentions in his video on the topic, this is a pretty obvious intimidation tactic. He made an hour-long video with copious citations to support his opinion that these streamers and YouTubers are backing a genocide. Like, someone could make a video saying that I am backing the genocide by not talking about it enough. People have said things like that to me. I'm not going to sue them because that is clearly their opinion. And here in the United States, opinions are generally allowed for now. But sure, maybe Klein's lawyer is good enough and he can argue that Samson was actually clearly stating a fact. He would then have to go on to prove that that fact was false, that Klein and Mutahar are not backing a genocide. I mean, I thought Samson's video was pretty convincing, but maybe they could do that. But then they would also have to show that Samson knew that it was a lie, that Samson was knowingly lying about them, which is, in my opinion, not a lawyer, pretty obviously not true, because Samson is quite enthusiastically following up with posts and videos saying that he thinks that his opinion is correct. The fact that Klein in particular is, in my opinion, weaponizing the law to silence critics is deeply ironic. Because back in 2016, when h3h3 was just a silly, goofy reaction show, one of the goofy guys that they frequently dunked on was named @MattHosszone, or Bold Guy. He made these classic cringe videos in which he presented himself as this super confident dude who picked up hot women. And so Ethan and Hila would dunk on him. Bold Guy got upset about this, and so to shut down Ethan and Hila from making fun of him, he filed a lawsuit claiming that they had violated his copyright. This was big news amongst YouTubers because obviously we rely a lot on fair use, the concept that allows us to take snippets of things in order to comment upon them, including other people's videos. So the community rallied together and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to help H3 fight this lawsuit. And it worked. The case did make it all the way to court, where a judge ruled that their commentary was fair use, setting a precedent that has gone on to protect future creators. So here we are just 9 years later, and the free speech hero has become a censorship villain. He is wildly successful. Those net worth websites are never accurate, so I'll just say that he has millions of subscribers, billions of views, and an entire streetwear company called Teddy Fresh, and they live in Bel Air. It's safe to say that they're doing all right. They're probably multimillionaires. Noah Samson, on the other hand, probably is not. He's just a little sad guy making sad videos about the manosphere and right-wingers and Zionists in his apartment. I don't know for sure that he's sad. That's just the vibe. He reminds me of an ex-boyfriend of mine who was always sad. Luckily, what Noah Samson does have is 500,000 subscribers. So hopefully if Klein and Mudahar move forward with their libel lawsuit, he can fundraise for his legal costs. But since their deadline for him to remove the video passed without anyone doing anything, Samson is hoping that they're bluffing. And so instead of fundraising for his legal fees, he's fundraising for UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, which is very, very cool. As always, links to everything are in the transcript posted on my Patreon, patreon.com/Rebecca, or at Skepchick.org. Link is below in the description box. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, you might not really get what this has to do with science and critical thinking. It's just YouTube drama, right? Well, it turns out that a huge aspect of science and critical thinking is questioning and challenging assertions. And it becomes very important to do that when the assertions being made are both false and dangerous. And the people most likely to make false and dangerous assertions are the people most likely to use whatever means they can to stop people from exposing them, from criticizing them, from challenging their ideas. For instance, I got interested in this area in the 2000s when UK science writer Simon Singh wrote an article critical of chiropractors, leading to the British Chiropractic Association suing him for libel. UK libel laws back then were horrific. They're still not great, but back then they were really bad, to the point where most people would just give up in the face of a libel threat because even if you go to court and win, it could still bankrupt you. But Simon did not give up. He lost in his first appearance, but he appealed and eventually won. And then he went on to campaign to change the libel laws to be better, a campaign which I was very lucky to be able to help with in my own small way by writing for the press releases and the websites and whatnot. In the years since then, I've had a few threats directed my way, with maybe my favorite being the lady who tried to get my videos removed from YouTube because I showed a screenshot of her Twitter account. Oh, wait, no. My favorite is the skeptic who got a lawyer to send me a cease and desist so no one would know about accusations his ex-girlfriend made about him. So I hired the lawyer who had just finished beating his lawyer in a giant defamation lawsuit, which led to him backing down. That was really funny. I don't have any updates on those incidents, though I did look it up. It seems that the lady who tried to get my videos removed hasn't had the best of luck in courts in the past few years. So that's fun. But I do have some updates on some of the other libel defamation cases that I've covered. Back in January, for instance, I talked about the credible allegations of sexual assault lodged against Neil Gaiman from several different women. I pointed out that the allegations came from the UK, which is still a very easy place to sue for libel. Despite that, at the time of my video, Gaiman had not made any such threats. But just last month, he did file a lawsuit. Not a libel lawsuit, though. Nope, he decided to sue one of his accusers because by telling the media about Gaiman's alleged assault of her, she violated an NDA. Caroline Wallner was the woman who said that he abused her when she was the caretaker of one of his properties, and she signed a non-disclosure agreement in 2021 by telling New York Magazine that Gaiman, for instance, climbed into bed with her and his sleeping 4-year-old child and took her hand and put it on his dick. He says she violated that NDA and now needs to pay him more than $500,000. Which is interesting because I am not a lawyer, but it seems like from a layperson's view, to violate a non-disclosure agreement, wouldn't you have to disclose things that are true, things that actually happened? Maybe not. I don't know. But it's weird that he would sue her over the NDA and not libel. But again, I'm just a humble YouTuber, not a big city lawyer suing a woman for $500,000 because she says she was sexually assaulted. Next up, in September of 2023, I talked about Francesca Gino, a Harvard professor who sued a group of data nerds to try to stop them from revealing that they found very strong evidence she was a fraud who made up her data. She also sued Harvard for following up on their findings, confirming that she was super suspicious, for which they placed her on unpaid leave. Well, great news. That lawsuit was dismissed in September of last year for the data nerds, and it was mostly dismissed for Harvard, who were still on the hook to rebut the accusation that Gino's contract with Harvard was breached by allegedly subjecting her to unfair disciplinary actions. It appears that that one is still going on after Gino keeps amending the suit and changing her legal team, but at least the data nerds are off the hook. Finally, back in June of 2023, I talked about Blair Zhan, aka Illuminati, the 1.7 million subscriber YouTuber who covered scams and then completely tanked her entire channel by accusing Legal, who is an actual YouTube lawyer, of stealing her editing style and then getting completely bodied by people coming out of the woodwork to reveal her past history of plagiarism and alleged abuse of her friends and employees. She responded by suing 3 of the people accusing her of abuse. On New Year's Day of this year, one of the defendants, Oz Media, posted this short video.
Blair and I have agreed to settle this matter confidentially through mediation. The lawsuit has been dismissed against all parties without any admission of fault by any party. As a part of the non-disclosure agreement, it should be known that Blair will not be sharing her side of the story behind this dispute, nor will I. No one should contact either of us further about this case or ask us to comment on it, or each other. As I have stated previously, anyone following me should never make threatening remarks to anyone involved in this case in a public or private forum.
Not super juicy, but not super surprising either. A lot of times this is how these things end because libel lawsuits are incredibly expensive and can be drawn out for years. So often things just settle out of court and the rest of us rubberneckers don't get to enjoy the view. But regardless, I think we can call this a happy ending as the defendants seem satisfied. Their videos are still public and the entire world now knows what a terrible person Illuminati is. As of this recording, she's lost 500,000 subscribers and hasn't posted a video in a year. So that's a lot of good conclusions for the libel bullies that I've discussed in the past. Let's hope that that continues for these cases that are ongoing. Neil Gaiman suing to silence one of his accusers, and now Ethan Klein threatening to sue in order to stop people from saying that he is pro-genocide. If you support the pursuit of knowledge, the scientific method, the correcting of misinformation, you must help fight against the wealthy bullies who use the court system to silence speech they don't like, speech that could stop them from grifting. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you think the world could use more videos like this and you happen to have a few bucks laying around, head to patreon.com/Rebecca and join an awesome community of nerds like the people whose names you see on the screen right now. Thanks.